Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, today we will start with a new chapter, and that is natural resources. And this chapter is included into the internal assessment, although it is not included in that of the final, but yes, in internal assessment we can include it. So let us start with this chapter. Okay. About the natural resources, see our planet Earth. That is the one in which the life exists, and life on the earth, it depends on many things, depends on many factors. Okay, that factors, it includes the resources which is available, which is present here. They are provided by us, they are provided by the earth to us, and even the energy which is given by sun to us, that is really important because it helps in bringing the basic requirement to all the life form of the earth. See, everything that we get it today, it is because of our nature only. Our nature used to provide everything to us. So the resources, whichever resources are present here, it is because of the energy which is provided by us. It is because of the earth only. So natural resources means what? The things that we obtain from nature. That is what? That is the natural resources. Resources available to us on the earth. That is all called as a natural resources. So what are these resources on the earth? See, these are the land, water and the air. These all are what? These all are the resources. The outer crust of the earth is called as lithosphere, and water covers 75% of the earth's surface. See, our outer surface of the earth is what? It is covered with the land, with water as well as with the air also. The crust is what? That is the lithosphere. Even the water which is present in our earth, it covers about the earth, our earth consisting of 75% of the water. And it is found that it is what? It is an underground water. This comprises the hydrosphere. Okay, so our land, water and air, these all are the different resources which is a part of our earth. And the outer crust of the earth, it is called as lithosphere. Okay, so yes, we can say that our earth is it is basically divided into different layers, and the layer is the lithosphere, hydrosphere. So hydrosphere is that which comprises of the water, and the air that covers the whole earth is called atmosphere. So see here, there are three things. First is lithosphere, then hydrosphere, and then atmosphere. Okay, living things are found where these three exist. So our living things, they exist, they are found in the three. There are living organisms which lives in the lithosphere, there are living organisms which live in the water, and there are living organisms which we call as a terrestrial organisms, they live in the atmosphere. Okay, the life supporting zone of the earth is what? That is atmosphere. Yes, see, most of the animals, most of the living organisms, they live in the atmosphere. And yes, there are hydrosphere and lithosphere also which interact with each other, and that will make the life possible. And collectively all the three is called as what? That is called as biosphere. Why the term biosphere, students? Because this is what? This help in providing. Bio means life. So the sphere which help in giving the a space which help in completing the basic requirement of the organisms, they are called as the biosphere. Now here, living things, it constitute the biotic component of the biosphere. Basically, all the living things are there, they constitute the biotic component of biosphere. The air, the water and the soil from the non-living or abiotic component of the biosphere. See, living things are what? This we see here, when we talk about the atmosphere, students, about our nature, nature consisting of a two component. The first one is the biotic component and the second one is the abiotic component. Talking about the biotic, the name is what? That is bio. Bio means life. So the component which includes the living organism, they are called as the biotic component. And abiotic, they are the non-living component. So those organisms which do not include the living organism, they are called as a abiotic component. Okay, so non-living, it means what, student? It means here where we can say land is there, or air is there, or soil is there, or water is there, they are what? They are the non-living. So living thing constitute the biotic component of the biosphere. Air, water and soil forms the non-living or abiotic component of the biosphere. Let us study about the abiotic component in detail in order to understand their role in sustaining life on earth. So first one is air. Yes. How air it constitutes, or it is what is the abiotic component. So we have already talked about the composition of the air in the first chapter. It is a mixture. Air is what? It is a mixture of a nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and water, vapor. These are what? These are the composition of the air. And it is really interesting to note that even the composition of the air is result of life on earth. In planets such as Venus, Mars, where there is no life, even there also the major component of the atmosphere is of the carbon dioxide. So we can say here that our air is what? That is composed of many gases. A lot of gases are there, students, like nitrogen is there, oxygen is there, water vapor is there, carbon dioxide is there. These all are what? These all are the part of the air. And they are we can say that this composition, it is important for the life of the earth. We know that we need oxygen, we know that the carbon dioxide is needed by the plant, even the hydrogen and the water vapor is important for our life. There are planets, students, like that of a Venus or Mars is there. This Venus or Mars, they are covered with the layer of a carbon dioxide. Okay, so the major component of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide. And in fact, we can say that it is because of the carbon dioxide, the Venus is the hottest planet, because the carbon dioxide is having a property in which the carbon dioxide, it trap the heat energy. So even though the Mercury is very close to that of the Sun, but Venus is considered to be the hottest one. Now talking about the carbon dioxide is constitute up to 95 to 97% of atmosphere on Venus and Mars. So you can see the most of the percentage of the atmosphere in Venus or on the Mars, that is because of a carbon dioxide only. Because of the presence of carbon dioxide, it is very hot. Now see here, eukaryotic cells, prokaryotic cells that we have discussed in the chapter cell also. They need oxygen, and this oxygen is needed by them in order to break down the glucose molecule and get energy for their activities. See, every organism, every biotic component, every living organism, they need oxygen, they need carbon dioxide. And why they need that? They need in order to do their activities, in order to get energy. We get oxygen, we need oxygen. Any cell, they need oxygen in order to get energy. So oxidation of a food happen, oxidation of glucose occur, and due to which energy is released. And this basically results in the consumption of this basically result in the production of the carbon dioxide. Okay. Now there is another process which results in consumption of oxygen, production of carbon dioxide, that is combustion. What happened in the combustion? In combustion, the fuels like coal is there. So what happened in coal? Coal used to combine with the oxygen. When we burn coal, a gas release which is called as carbon dioxide. So basically we can say that the oxygen, it is important, it helps in the process of combustion. So carbon react with the oxygen to form the carbon dioxide. So another process by which the consumption of oxygen occurs, student, is the production of carbon dioxide, that is combustion. And what happened here? When we burn fuel to get energy, even also in the forest fire, how it is included into the fuel? You know that wood is what? Wood is a domestic fuel, and when we burn it, it also produces carbon dioxide. So there are different sources by which the carbon dioxide is produced. It can be through the respiration process, or it can be through the process of a combustion. Okay. So despite, you can see here that there is a various means by which the carbon dioxide is produced. But even though the percentage of the carbon dioxide is what? It is increasing. It's not increasing, it remains the same, because of the process of photosynthesis. See, the percentage of the carbon dioxide, even though there are different means by which the carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere, then also the percentage do not changes. It is because that the carbon dioxide remain fixed. And what are the reasons by which the carbon dioxide remain fixed? So it is because the first one is the green plants. Green plant So see, here we can say that there are two ways by which we can fix carbon dioxide. The first one is the green plant convert the carbon dioxide into glucose in the presence of sunlight. And the second one is the marine animals, they use carbonate dissolved in sea water to make their shells. Basically, the green plants are what, student? These green plants, they uses the carbon dioxide to convert it into glucose. You know that the process of photosynthesis. So process of photosynthesis, it involves that the conversion of the glucose molecule into the carbon dioxide is used by that of the green plant in the process of photosynthesis, where they use this and convert it into the glucose molecule in the presence of sunlight, that we call as a photosynthesis. And there are aquatic animals, there are marine animals also there, students, which dissolves, which help in dissolving that of the carbonate in sea water to make their shells. Okay, so that is what, that is about the marine animals, that how marine animals, they uses the carbonate dissolved in sea water to make their shells. Now let us see here the role of atmosphere in climate control. So we have talked of atmosphere covering the earth like a blanket. We know that the air is a bad conductor of heat. The atmosphere keeps the average temperature of the earth fairly steady during the day and even during the course of the whole year. The atmosphere prevents the sudden increase in temperature during the daylight hour and during the night. It slows down the escape of heat into outer space. Think of moon, which is about same distance from the sun that earth is. See, when we talk about the atmosphere, atmosphere is what? It's a kind of a blanket. What is the role of a blanket? Blanket help us in giving protection to us from any kind of a condition. Basically, the role of the atmosphere is the same. It helps in keeping the temperature average. Okay, so the temperature is fairly steady during the day and even during the course of the whole year. And even the good thing about the atmosphere, that if there is any kind of a changes occur, it basically prevent the sudden change happens in the environment. Right, sudden increase in the temperature during the daylight hour from the day to night, it does not happen because of our atmosphere only. So during night, the heat, it escapes slowly into the outer space. So the atmosphere, it prevents the sudden increase in temperature during the daylight hour and during the night also. What happened where there is no atmosphere? If we want to know about the importance of atmosphere, we must think that what happens if there is no atmosphere. So if there will be no atmosphere, students, then like in moon, think of the moon here, which is about the same distance from the sun like as the earth is. But since there is no atmosphere, the temperature ranges from 190 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. It means the temperature during the day is what is really very high. It is about 110 degrees Celsius. While during night, it is about minus 190 degrees Celsius. This much temperature is there in case of the moon here. That is for the atmosphere. As we have seen above, sand, water do not heat up at the same rate. What do you think will be their rate of cooling? Can we think of experiment to test the prediction? Now let us try to understand the movement of air, wind. So we have all felt the relief brought by cool evening breeze after a hot day, and sometimes we are lucky enough to get rain after some days of really hot weather. What causes the movement of air, and what decide whether this movement will be in the form of a gentle breeze or a strong breeze or a terrible storm? What brings us welcomes rain? See, the breeze, wind is what? It's the movement of the air is the wind. So the phenomena, whatever the phenomena which occur in the atmosphere, especially all these phenomena where we includes the movement of the air, the strong breeze or a gentle breeze or a terrible storm, this all will take place in the atmosphere due to heating of the air only. When the air heated, there is a formation of a water vapor. Now the water vapor which is formed due to heating of water bodies and activity of living organism, it basically, the atmosphere which is formed here, which occur here, it basically because of the heating of the air. See, the movement of the water to that of the movement of the air from that of the hot to the cold area because of the heating only. When the air heated, then the water surface of the water, it become hot, and you know that as we provide temperature to the water, it get converted into water vapor. Now the water vapor is formed here. Water vapor is formed due to the heating of water bodies and the activities of living organism. The atmosphere can be heated from below by radiation that is reflected back or re-radiated by the land or water bodies. On being heated, convection current are set up in the air, and in order to gain some understanding of the nature of convection current, there is a activity is already given. See here students, what does that mean? It means that the atmosphere which is heated, it is because of the radiation that is reflected back by the land or by the water body. Basically, you have heard about the land breeze or the sea breeze. Why does it occur? It occurs because of the heating of the land only. When the land heated or when the water heated, then there is a development of the water vapor. The air start rising up, and due to which the pressure becomes low. When the pressure becomes low, then the high pressure air, which is the cool air, will start moving from the cold temperature to that of the hot temperature. Like see here, the pattern actually here if we talk about land and that of the air only. So when air is heated by radiation, it rises. But since land get heated faster than water, the air over the land would be heated faster than the air over water bodies. What happened? During the near seashore, you will find that sea breeze or land breeze is a very common thing that we have already studied also. Let me remind you what happened there. The land, land also during the day, it also receives the sunlight, and the water also receives the sunlight. But what happened? The air which is present, the land is what? It heated faster than that of the water, and due to which the air which is present near to that of the land, it get heated up, it expands and rises up. And due to which the air over that of the water body just starts moving to the land. Why is it so? Because when the air heated up, it rises up, then there is a pressure generated there which is low. So because of low pressure and the air which is already present over that of the water bodies, there the pressure is what? That is high. So the water start moving from the high pressure to that of the low pressure. Start moving from the water bodies to that of the air itself. If we look at the situation in the coastal region during the day, air above the land get heated faster and starts rising. Yes. And as this air rises, a region of a low pressure is created, and air over the sea moves this area of a low pressure. Now the movement of air from region to the other create winds. See how the wind is formed here, how the movement of the air creates wind, students. And how movement of the air occur here? When from the high pressured area, the air start moving from there to the low pressured area. And what happened here? Since the air which was present near that of the land is what? It is very close to the surface, and the air which is present is close to the surface, it expanded and rises up. So the water vapor or the wind, the air which is present over that of the water body start rushing and occupy the space which was created by the hot air present on the land. So this is how the air moves, and when the air moves, the wind occurs. Okay, so the movement of air from one region to the other, it creates wind. What happened during the day? During the day, direction of the wind would be from sea to land. What happened during night, student? At night, both land and sea, it starts to cool. And since water cools down slower than that of the land, and the air above water would be warmer than that of the air above land. So the air which is present just above the water, it will be what? Still it is warm. While the air, land is what? It is having a property that it will get cools down very easily, as well as it will get very heat, means it will become hot also very easily. So what happened? The land, it cools faster than that of the water. So water, the sea water, it take the air which is present will be what? It consisting of a hot air, because the water takes times it take times to become cool, means the cool down, it means the water, it cools down slower than that of the land. So the air which is present above the water, it would be warmer than the air which is present above that of the land. So what happened? Due to which the air which is present over the water body, it will expand and rises up. So there again a low pressure area is formed by the air, and here on the land, which is the air which is present is what's cooler than that of the sea. So obviously now the air starts moving from the high pressure, that is from the land, to the low pressure, that is from the sea. Okay, this is how the movement occur. On the basis of this above discussion, what can we say about that? We can say that the appearance of areas of low and high pressure in coastal areas at night, the direction in which air would flow at night in coastal area. So from this discussion we came to a conclusion, students, that appearance of low and high pressure, yes, low pressure and high pressure generated in the coastal area, and even the air movement occur from the flow of air occur at night. So what happened at night, what happened at day, as well as why does it occur? It is because of the pressure, because of the low pressure to that of the high pressure movement. Similarly, all the movement of the air result in diverse atmospheric phenomena, and that are caused by uneven heating of the atmosphere in different regions of the earth. But various other factors also influences these winds, the rotation of the earth and the presence of mountain ranges in the path of the wind, and are couple of these factors. So all the movement of the air that occur here, the atmospheric phenomena that is caused, it is because of uneven heating in the different regions of the earth. And there are various other factors are there which influences the wind, like the rotation of the earth, the movement of the earth around its own axis, the presence of mountain range. See here, these are the factors: rotation of earth, presence of mountain range in the path of the wind. These are what? These are the two factors. Because of that, the movement of the earth, the movement of the air occurs, students. Now, we will not going to discuss about this detail in the chapter, student, but we must know that even the mountain like Himalaya, presence of Himalaya change the flow of a wind blowing from Allahabad towards the north. So yes, we can say that the rotation of the earth and the Himalayas, the mountain range, it basically responsible for the movement of the wind. Second abiotic component is the rain, student. So let us go back to the question of how clouds are formed or bring us rain. So how cloud is formed, students? Basically, when water bodies are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates and goes into the air. Some amount of water also get into the atmosphere because of various biological activities, and these areas also get heated. The hot air rises up carrying the water vapor with it, and as the air rises, it expands and cools. This cooling causes the water vapor in the air to condense in the form of a tiny droplet, and this condensation is facilitated if some particle could act as a nucleus for these drops to form around. Normally, dust and other suspended particle in the air perform this function, and once the water droplets are formed, they grow bigger by condensation of these water droplets, and That will result in see what happened here. First of all, the water vapor is formed because of the sunlight falls on the surface of water bodies, and when it get evaporated, when it reaches to higher altitude, it will get condensed into the water droplets. These water droplets combine with the other water droplets to form a big drop of water, and thus that is help in the formation of a cloud, and when the cloud become heavy, precipitation occur. That is the rainfall occurs, student. So this is how the water used to move from the earth and again come back to the earth, that is water cycle.